Hi everyone, Joanna here. I know it's been a while since I did any video or post here. Again, just busy life and running around and not only being a mom to an 11-year-old, but a full-time therapist, wife, and everything else that comes in between. So I figured today, just for our conversation or for this video, and I'm actually curious on everybody's feedback on this. I'm sure we all know about these nowadays, but my daughter, just like any other child that I come across today, is into Labubus. So what do you do as a parent when you have a child that knows every child out there who has Labubu and wants one? Actually, not one, but wants a full set. Great, definitely not something I would purchase, I think, if I was a kid today, but who knows? This is what the kids are into nowadays, or it's just a great advertisement for kids today. And I think we as parents get so sucked into this. I did. But I'm not going to open this because I think one of the beauty about gifts or giving something to our children is teaching them patience and teaching them that they don't have to necessarily have everything all at once, and that we don't necessarily have to put all of our emotions and connections to materialistic things. And again, I only post this. Yes, I got the Labubu. And this is something that's going to be in my office, by the way. And my daughter knows that I got one. So she sure has very strong feelings about this, because then maybe unconsciously I'm the one that really wanted to get this and not get it for her. But what am I trying to say through this video? Again, as parents, we know where we come from based on our upbringing, our own parents. Especially, I think, those of us who are in our 40s, mid-40s, higher. Not necessarily having many things, whether it's phones, computers, until later on in life, right? So we're that generation that can appreciate the past, but also can appreciate the present, but also allow ourselves to be patient with it. Again, I'm speaking for myself. So I'm only talking about this because I know it's a huge product. So many people want them, so many kids want them. And it's to that point where it becomes children's identity to have things nowadays. And children connect their identity to these toys. And I think before this toy, and by the way, I do have one in my office as well, is the jelly cats, right? Because again, it's something that signifies some form of a connection, an emotional connection. I think more so as a therapist, as a temporary connection, because once this goes out of style or something new comes out, then again, it will be a new hype about something else. So what I'm trying to do by posting this video, whoever sees it, I'm actually curious what you as parents think about these things. And be honest, whether you got one for your kid or didn't, or many. So I did buy this for Isabel. And she had the ability to already open it, right? So this is more so because I got it from my office and she knows this, but she did get it and I did get it for her. Why did I get it, right? So now I'm talking it more so from perspective as a parent, but also as a therapist. I'm not a perfect parent. I don't strive to be. I make mistakes. I think we all make mistakes and maybe try to perfect them by buying kids things nowadays. And there is articles out there and things that I've read or came across that a lot of times what we do as parents, because we see what children have gone through, especially when we think of COVID, isolations, and what we taught them about emotions, that there's something about needing these things in order for them to attach to something. And maybe it's because there was no connections for some period of time, if I bring COVID into it. But then the realist in me, and just logically thinking about certain things, you know, there's generations before us that have gone through so many different traumatic events, whether it is World War I, World War II, Civil War, Great Depression, right? Again, I'm just putting a few things into place. The mindset was a little bit different, and it was more about be happy with what you have, which is my mindset. And then the other part of it too is there was no thought of comparing or needing to have certain things because somebody else had it, because nobody else had it, right? So even today, whether it comes to these Labubus or anything else, the struggle is that we as parents a lot of times are at fault with this, because if one parent gives in to give it to their child, we all give in most of the time, because we don't want our child to be the one that's left out. And that is more of a struggle that exists today than I think back in the day. We struggle with our children not having because everybody else might be having. And then the part of, well, what I hear a lot is, well, I don't want my child to be left out from whether it's a toy or an activity or an experience. And I understand that for so many different reasons. So what do we do about this, right? How do we teach our children that it's okay to have these things? Teach them to have patience, teach them to have appreciation. I think also teaching them about money and the idea of money, the concept of money, where it comes from, right? It doesn't just grow on trees. Kids nowadays sometimes tell their parents, well, just swipe that not credit thing, they say the card thing, right? Because again, that's what they've seen parents do when they're just using their basic conversations or their basic responses towards that. So I think it's so important for us to teach our children, if we still can, the importance of money, the importance of having things, but also the importance of not having things. Our world does not define us based on what we have versus what we don't have. It's who we are as individuals. And for most people, that is so hard to grab onto, actually even adults, right? So I only bring this up, and I'm laughing because I'm making this video, that there is this toy in here, and it was not cheap. It has a price tag to it, and especially if you can't find it on the actual site. So this part of the hunger that is behind these toys that also speaks volume, and the hunger, the drive, I don't know if it's adrenaline, but it's something about it as well, that once we get it, even as parents, it satisfies some sense of completion to something. Doesn't necessarily mean I have to open this box, but for it to lay there and to sit there, it is not important for me as it is for a child. Not to say that these things are not important for certain adults, because there's adults that are into these things. For me, doing this video and posting it is really to check in with ourselves, right? Our own pockets, our own money, right? Do we work hard? Okay, great. Do we make money? Okay, great. Do we pay our bills? Do we put ourselves in debt because of these things or anything else possibly? So just because our children want it, right? Wants versus needs is extremely important. Teaching kids just maybe the same way as we were taught, maybe too much, how important it is to save, how important it is to just appreciate things, be happy with one and maybe not a whole mess of them. Patience, gratitude, right? But also allow the children, I think it's so important, is not only all of these things, but who they are as individuals and what kind of identity they are creating, we are creating, I guess, for them by buying all of these things, right? So again, just for the thoughts for today is, have you been in that situation where your child wanted a specific toy and you went out of your way, whatever shape or form, and needed to get it because it makes them happy. But then guess what? The problem is that this thing might make a child happy today, maybe for another week or two, and then it's going to be something else, right? So psychologically and emotionally, what are we doing to our children by constantly meeting their needs, their pleasures, right? And maybe teaching them how to also shift that into different directions, how to find joy and pleasure through something else, not just materialistic things or toys. Maybe it's by doing something or being involved in volunteering in something. Again, it's a parental battle that we have with our children today. And I think we need to check that with ourselves and what we want for them. I welcome all the thoughts and comments, what you guys think as parents, as kids. I'm hungry for those comments. So thank you for listening. Until next time.